Hi, my name is Isla Long, and I'm doing this series of videos because my Lord has asked me to do that. So I'm going to be sharing with you my story. And I guess the best place for me to start with that story is probably about when I was the age of 8 or 10. That's when I accepted Jesus Christ as my Savior, asked Him into my heart. I was not raised in a Christian family. My father was pretty much against organized religion, but for some reason he didn't object to us going to this church that started in the school across the street from us. So my brother and I started going there, and it was there that I asked Christ into my heart. Whether it was out of fear of hell and damnation, or if it was out of a true love for Jesus, I'm not really sure, but I did ask Him to forgive my sins and to be my Savior, and I was baptized. Not super long after that, they had gotten a new church, and they need to raise money to pay for it, so they sent us out collecting pennies into the neighborhood. And my father was not very happy with that, and so he told us that we had to stop going to that church. My girlfriend's family went to church every Sunday, and so I started going to church with them, and my father didn't object to that. So probably about when I was around the age 12, my girlfriend Margaret decided she was going to join the church, and I needed to join with her, take classes and join. She was kind of a leader, I was more of a follower, so we took the classes. And I joined Trinity Reformed Church by reaffirmation of my faith in Jesus Christ. Went there all the time, and as a child, some of the sermons were boring and stuff, but I kept going back. There was something in me that just drew me to God. And when I got in my older teen years, I got involved in the youth group and sang in the choir when I was in high school. Started teaching Sunday school probably when I was in 11th or 12th grade. So pretty involved in the church, real involved in the youth group. And but in 1962, when my husband and I were getting married, something happened within the youth group that crushed me. And so I dropped out of the church for a couple years. My husband and I received a visit maybe 2 years after we had dropped out from the pastor and the elder, and Roy decided that they were right and we need to get back involved in church. So we started back up again, and we became a part of the young married couples, which was a lot of fun. And I began teaching Sunday school again. I began singing in the choir. I was involved in the ladies group, quite involved in the church, and eventually I started printing our bulletin and newsletter. But even though I was so involved, inside I felt like I was dying. I don't know, I can't even explain it. I just felt like something was missing. Something wasn't right. And this one evening I was so disturbed that I went downstairs and I was sitting at the piano, and I just cried out to the Lord, I don't know if I'm saved or not. If I'm not, save me. And if I am, then let me know. But I don't like where I'm at. And I can remember that year of 1973 because I won a trophy that year for Women's High Series. And the night that I won it, I was so absolutely, totally miserable. The last place I wanted to be was at the bowling alley. I could have cared less that I was bowling good, because inside I had this nothingness. And I wrote a poem afterwards about that, because the things of the world just they don't measure up, It's Jesus Christ and our relationship with Him. So anyway, I had some friends that had gone to a retreat, and they came back. I didn't go because I was so miserable. And they came back and they were all geeked and excited, and they didn't make me feel much better. So 6 months later, when they went again, I went with them. But I still was in that spiritually low place. I was just looking and searching. And I remember my friend Renee telling me, Isla, I can't tell you when or where or how, but God will answer that sincere prayer of yours. So anyway, we went to the retreat, and the first opening session we sang a song, and it's called, well, the words said, "Come to the water, stand by my side. I know you are thirsty, you won't be denied. I saw every teardrop when in darkness you cried, and I strove to remind you that for those tears I died." Oh my goodness, to me that song was telling me, I saw you downstairs in the basement. I heard your heart cry, and I'm gonna respond. And I thought, oh, this is gonna be such a great retreat, because the Lord has heard me and He's gonna answer me. And I went away from that retreat with one thing, the message that was in that song. I mean, we had a lot of fun, we giggled, laughed, stayed up all night, but spiritually, the only thing I walked away with was a promise of that song, that God heard my heart cry. It was probably, I don't know, a few weeks, maybe a month or month and a half later, when I'm in my home, and I got Roy off to work and the kids off to school, and the house was a total wreck. And so I need to get busy cleaning. And every time I started to do something, I felt this nudging to go downstairs. And I would start doing something else, and that nudging would come back until after a few times I just finally gave in, and I went downstairs. I sat at a folding table I had down there that had my Bible out and my Sunday school materials. And the Lord led me to a verse. It was Isaiah 40:31, one of my favorite verses now. And it said, "They that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings as eagles. They shall run and not be weary. They shall walk and not faint." And it's like, yes, Lord. Yes, that's what I want. I want to fly. I just want to know that I know that I know. But what does waiting on the Lord mean? Does that mean I sit here and I twiddle my thumbs and just wait for something to happen? That following Sunday, I got that nudging again, and it was to go to the church down the street from me. Never been there before, but I had some friends that used to go to Trinity that were now going there, and I thought, maybe I'll see them if I go. So anyway, I went, and the pastor talked about waiting on the Lord and what it was. And I was like, oh my goodness. And he said it's not a passive thing, it's an active thing, because you're before the Lord, you're in His Word, you're talking to Him, you're listening to Him. And so I came home, okay, I need to spend time daily with the Lord. But where do I start? How do I start? You know, should I get out one of our devotional books from the church or what? The following Sunday, the Lord just nudged me again, go back to that church. So I went to their evening service, and the assistant pastor spoke. And he spoke about how to develop a study in the book of Proverbs, because there's 31 books, and there's 30 to 31 days in a month. And anyway, he gave directions on how to do that, and how to pick just one of the Proverbs out, and to bring it before the Lord, pray through it, adapt it to your life where you could, and it just developed a study for me. So that was just an awesome way that the Lord met me where I'm at. And I don't know where you're at. This video's going out to I don't know how many people, But wherever you're at in your walk, if you know the Lord, He wants to take you higher and deeper. He still wants to take me higher and deeper. As much as I'm open to receiving, He's open to giving. And if you don't know Jesus Christ as your Savior, I invite you to ask Him, are you real? Are you real? Is this stuff real? And I can promise you, like my friend promised me, can't tell you when or where or how, but if you're earnestly seeking to know the Lord, He wants to answer that earnest prayer of yours. So thank you so much for joining me with this session, and I hope we'll meet again at the next session. Bye now.